just a few comments after the panel. What's your first impression?
I thought that we had a very useful discussion. I was encouraged by the fact that there is some cautious optimism in relation to volumes of transactions going into next year. In particular, what I found promising is the fact that the availability of bank financing seems to be returning to the market, that the bond market is open, and then the fact that some large corporates, we had Pirelli and RCS on our panel, are again willing to look at doing transactions both on the buy side and on the sell side. So, still the environment is difficult, but at least some of the preconditions for a slight pickup are now finally taking place.
I found that one of the best things today is that, apart from the optimism, I found a lot of realism. In the sense that, some other event I found that too many times there are two marketing sentences, So everybody's trying to sell what he's trying to do, what he did during the year. Here, really, we are talking about, what is happening on the market, what we are expecting from the market, and we split the market into chunks. So we have, the market of the big corporation, but we have also the market of the medium-sized company. So we have tried to cover, let me say, the entire market. And that's, I think, could be useful for the people attending the meeting. Is it your impression that?
Yeah, I thought we had a very interesting cross-section of the market. You had banks, you had private equity, you had large corporate, medium-sized corporates, domestic players, international players. I think, out of the mix, I think most of the people would have got an interesting snapshot of what's currently going on in Italy. And as you said, people were really focusing on trying to identify some of the key trends that may allow, hopefully, the market to pick up slowly over coming months, rather than necessarily advertising what they were doing. So I agree with you. I thought it was a high-quality discussion.
I think that it's interesting to understand from you, from the corporate, that, and it's the same for us as advisor. We are quite busy at the moment. So definitely after the summer, there have been, let me say, a lot of opportunities coming on our tables. So we are working with our client. Quite well, let me say. So there is an optimism. I think that we need to remain realistic because there are something in the future that you mentioned, for example, the political election. That definitely is something that we need to take care. But we are working on real case. Something that happened last year is that in many cases we were working on potential transaction, but at the end of the story it failed. But there was a specific reason why, So these transactions were not going at the end. Here we are going on real case. It's a good signal. Of course, it's not the end of the crisis. I think that many of the corporates have understood that they have to change their business model because this is not only a crisis. This is something that will change their business model. So they need to, to work in a different environment. It's your impression that is?
No, I agree with that. I think many people are now finally recognizing that this is structural.
Yeah.
So that there is a new normal, and people are beginning to adapt to it. And I think the illusion that this might just be a cyclical downturn is kind of going away. So when you have people who are more pragmatic and begin to be able to live with the uncertainty, which I think is going to be with us for quite some time, you have some of the preconditions for some of the volumes coming back to the market. So let's hope that you're right, and we end up.
We will see next year.
Exactly.
Okay, we will see next year in the next conference. Okay.